That was all very well for him to say. Nurse had warned her that a woman's first time was excruciating. The old retainer had done her best to ready her mistress for this night. She lifted her chin. "I'm not afraid." Her voice gave a betraying waver. "How old are you?" he said, his gaze raking her as if he could see through her coverings to the form beneath. The question was so unexpected, she stumbled over the answer. 17. He was 21, and had been on the town, as the phrase was, since he'd left Eton. She'd heard about him, of course. Who hadn't? Stories of wickedness, of scandalous, romantic entanglements with married ladies. He'd already fought 2 duels with jealous husbands, and won. He'd go on to have many other women when he was done with her. She could not imagine one of them refusing him. The thought made her bite her lip hard. He reached out and touched the back of one finger to her cheek. "If you don't want to do this, I will leave." His tone was not kind, it was indifferent, but the gesture, the feel of his touch, made something inside her warm, just a little. "I want to," she said. If she did not, her father would do things to her that were worse than anything this young man might contemplate. Besides, he was her one chance to get away from this house, a man powerful enough to protect her from her father. His rank and breeding would have told her that, even if the cut of his jaw, the cold fire in his eyes, had not. Suddenly anxious that he might have second thoughts, that he would leave her and call the whole thing off, she made herself throw back the covers and sit up. She held out a hand to him and tried to keep it from shaking. He regarded her silently. Then his eyes seemed to darken, and he grasped her hand, curling his strong fingers around it. She was surprised at the heat of his skin. It was such a contrast with his cool demeanor. Without even taking off his boots, he set one knee on the bed. "Neither of us desired this," he murmured, moving over her, making the mattress sink beneath his weight. His breath brushed her cheek. "After tonight, you won't ever have to see me again." His words were a death knell to her hopes. "But I thought—" She broke off with a stifled exclamation as his hands touched her body, preparing her. He was assured and unhesitating, and he didn't kiss her. For that she tried to be grateful. Kissing seemed like too personal a caress for this kind of act. This was a transaction, and he wasn't going to pretend otherwise. She shouldn't wish it to be otherwise, and yet she did. Oh, how she wished. But wishing was futile. If it weren't for the circumstances that trapped them into this, the Marquis of Steyne wouldn't have looked twice at such an ungainly beanpole as she. He applied himself to her with a singular lack of emotion, but she reacted to his expert stroking and caressing anyway. Her blood, so shivery before, seemed to heat and glow and flare beneath his touch. Liquid warmth pooled low in her belly as his fingers eased inside her. Such an intimate touch from such a virtual stranger, and yet her body didn't seem to know the difference. He was skilled and gentle and quite impersonal, and she was half bewildered, half chagrined at her own involuntary response. Slick with moisture from her arousal, his thumb pressed and rubbed a place that fired a yearning deep within her, even as it radiated pleasure to the very tips of her toes. She closed her eyes and remained determinedly silent, choking back sighs of delight, unwilling to give him the satisfaction of knowing what she felt, if satisfaction he'd take. He probably didn't care that much. But the rush of bliss made her cry out, made her quake and shudder beneath his hands, and when he freed his rigid flesh from his breeches and entered her with swift, tearing ruthlessness, she craved what he did to her, even through the sharp bite of pain. As her trembles ebbed and new, unfamiliar sensations overtook them, she opened her eyes. He had not removed his shirt or his breeches.